The long-awaited finale from Season 4 has arrived at last. This closing chapter delivered major fatalities, a crimson skyline reminiscent of Stranger Things, the destruction of the bottle tree, emotional family reunions, a sinister metamorphosis, and a significant moment where the boy in white and the man in yellow finally recognized one another. That said, this conclusion isn't immune to critique. While the opening act was stellar, the latter portions contained noticeable shortcomings. More on that shortly. Let's dive into the finale, dissect the episode, and unpack the ending. Here's the breakdown of From Season 4, Episode 10. Be warned, spoilers ahead. The bottle tree operation saw Jade and Tabitha facing creatures deep within the caverns as they excavated remains. After signaling Boyd to uproot the bottle tree so they could flee, Jade's theory proved accurate. The tree sat directly above the cave system. The shaft of light pouring into the underground chamber provided temporary sanctuary. But when Sophia severed their rope and left them stranded, toppling the bottle tree triggered catastrophic consequences throughout the settlement. Daylight vanished at noon, extinguishing the cave's protective glow. The ensuing quake left Jade and Tabitha buried underground, forced to locate another exit. This validated the boy in white's warning to Victor in Season 3, Episode 9, the bottle tree held immense significance and must remain intact. Once it fell, the community literally crumbled. Randall captured the sentiment perfectly. What the F have we done? Jade demonstrated remarkable growth this episode, telling Tabitha she should surface with the remains while he remained behind to stall for time, essentially prepared to lay down his life so she and her family could escape. Previously a self-centered figure who refused to enter the cave just episodes prior, he reached a point of selflessness. His farewell to Tabitha, "If I had to spend all of my lifetimes with anyone, I'm glad it was you," proved genuinely moving. With the mission compromised, Jade and Tabitha trapped, and townspeople stranded in the woodland, creatures began surfacing amid the unnatural darkness, sparking absolute pandemonium. These sequences rank among the season's finest. The claustrophobic close-up shots whipping around the vehicle amplified the dread, panic, and sensory overload. Patty unraveled completely, shrieks filled the audio, voices shouted, visibility dropped, and a creature pressed against the glass. Masterfully executed, the bottle tree may have been the sole source of protection for the inhabitants. Now that the sacrificial chamber beneath lies exposed, the implications seem dire. A genuine lightning strike emanated from that exact location, igniting the heavens in red and summoning a violent tempest, all while the man in yellow remained completely undisturbed. Sophia noted that darkness fell because the conclusion approached, and endings become chaotic. I believe she orchestrated this destruction intentionally, which explains her non-interference. Cornered behind subterranean bars with no escape, Jade and Tabitha resorted to digging around the obstruction. Only when Boyd detected their signal did he venture back, realizing they survived and extracting them personally. Upon examining the remains, Tabitha gasped, recognizing she held the skull of the Ankui girl from the Season 3 finale. Memories were resurfacing. Yet knowledge demands sacrifice. What price will complete recollection exact? Ultimately, removing the bottle tree caused exponentially more harm than benefit. It resulted in Mariel's brutal death at Smiley's hands, a scene far more heartbreaking than anticipated. It granted Sophia unrestricted freedom to gather talismans. It permitted creatures to roam unchecked. And it unleashed multiple natural disasters. If the tree provided their only defense, that shield has now vanished, along with most talismans. We learned the bones never ensured cave safety, the bottle tree did. Jade's prior knowledge of this remains puzzling. Still, with the remains now above ground, perhaps they'll unlock the solution everyone anticipated. Fatima completed her monstrous transformation. Fans had long speculated based on her slowed pulse, prominent veins, and Smiley connection. After he literally tracked her and Mariel down, uttering, "Hello, Mother," a flawlessly delivered line, she entered the tunnels to create a diversion for Boyd's rescue team. Turning back, she pleaded, "Remember who I was. The Fatima we knew is gone." Following those words, she metamorphosed completely, unleashing an ear-splitting shriek, confirming her new identity. She'd apparently been fighting this change, fully aware of what awaited. Her transformation fundamentally alters the landscape. Whether she'll defend the town or oppose it remains uncertain, hence her final plea. While visually and emotionally striking, I question why the narrative invested heavily in the golem construction only to abandon it after episode 6. Perhaps Fatima's human arc has ended, leaving only her creature form. Her legacy may live on through the colony house golem, potentially useful later. As a monster, she's essentially invincible. I'm curious whether she'll emerge from the cavern. She appears to be a unique hybrid, unbound by the pact that created other creatures through sacrifice. The town operates on rituals, primarily one where residents surrendered their offspring for immortality, becoming monsters as part of the bargain. Fatima's Season 3 finale experience mirrors this. She delivered Smiley, the town claimed him, and the ritual persisted. Losing a child to the town, even under different circumstances, may have triggered her fate. Combined with the man in yellow's blood flowing within her, this likely accelerated the transformation. What drives Sophia's agenda? After Elgin discovered her photograph in the penultimate episode, he confronted her, prompting her true identity reveal. She extended the same offer she made to Clara. Unlike Clara, however, Elgin remained loyal, applying lessons from Season 3 and refusing to betray his protectors. He ultimately fell to the man in yellow's touch, perishing tragically but honorably. This catalyzed Sophia's scheme. She told Clara she intended to strike the match and observe the inferno. She then systematically stripped every talisman from the settlement, rendering buildings vulnerable to creature invasion and forcing residents to conceal themselves openly in darkness, resetting the cycle to its origins. I can identify only one motivation: she's engineering a massacre. Recalling the slaughter from Victor's childhood, witnessed only in aftermath when Miranda hid him overnight, the collected talismans have created ideal conditions for history to repeat. Sophia repeatedly emphasized the approaching end and impending chaos. What else could follow? A massacre would terminate the cycle, leaving Ethan as the sole survivor, paralleling Victor's past. Sophia has effectively prepared the hunting grounds for creatures to massacre inhabitants at will. She secured most talismans. Clara gathered others too, still deluded that the man in yellow will assist her. He won't. Once Clara outlives her usefulness, he'll likely dispose of her as he did Elgin. Then again, bargains and rituals hold genuine power here, so perhaps she'll survive. When Sophia discarded the talismans, the boy in white appeared beside her. They're opposing. Allegiances crystallized when he declared, "You're going to lose this time," suggesting a competitive, almost playful dynamic governing the town's fate. Curiously, the boy in white wields fraction of the man in yellow's influence. He communicates in enigmas, appears selectively, and offers minimal aid. Conversely, the man in yellow operates with impunity, spreading terror unchecked. I'm eager to explore this dynamic in the concluding season. It evokes classic angel versus devil symbolism. Perhaps the town itself is a sentient entity employing both figures as servants in an eternal wager between good and evil. Henry continued wrestling with reality versus illusion, his hallucinations fueling doubt. The scarlet sky, tremors, and midday darkness reinforced his conviction that this environment couldn't be genuine. The hallucinated Victor advised him, "Once you accept that it's a dream, the dream is going to provide you with everything that you need." Finding ammunition and hearing Donna urge him to see his son, Henry interpreted these as the dream furnishing necessities. He concluded that murdering Victor would forcibly sever his connection to this false world, granting access to the real existence where he finally possessed the family he'd always lacked. However, when he trained his weapon on the self-blaming Victor, who faulted himself for his father's deterioration after discussing the man in yellow, Ethan arrived. As Henry redirected his aim toward the boy, Victor finally confronted his father. A powerful milestone. I've never witnessed him assume such authority. Boyd also admitted they should have heeded Victor's warnings about the bottle tree. Perhaps the community will finally trust Victor next season and extract answers from him. I anticipated Henry's demise, yet it never materialized. Victor insisted something within the town was deceiving him, possibly planting seeds of doubt. Honestly, Julie's arc disappointed me severely. The story-walking concept held tremendous potential that this season squandered. We'll likely revisit it next season, but the opportunity feels missed. She witnessed the massacre and the man in yellow in episode 4, yet these visions barely impacted the overarching narrative. As the storm raged, earthquakes struck, and Tabitha failed to return, Ethan feared isolation within the town, mirroring Victor's childhood trauma. Julie attempted reassurance, but while they sat in the kitchen, doors slammed and dishes hurled themselves again. I've narrowed this phenomenon to two possibilities. Either Julie is storywalking across timelines, attempting communication with no harmful consequences, a warning of sorts, or, if trapped souls theory holds merit, Jim might be reaching out. If the man in yellow wasn't impersonating Jim in episode 2, perhaps Jim's spirit offers warnings or attempts contact. It doesn't read as threatening since nobody suffers injury. Given Julie's tender exchange with Ethan, this experience might motivate her to attempt storywalking again, to shield her brother, rescue her father, and seek answers. She now possesses stronger motivation. Regarding my finale assessment, the episode contained exceptional moments yet failed to feel conclusive, ending somewhat abruptly. The first third was magnificent, the bottle tree operations escalating tension and Jade and Tabitha's predicament kept me uncertain. Boyd's group navigating back through the forest proved intensely uncomfortable. That car sequence horrified through its intimate camera work and Patty's breakdown, immersing viewers completely. After craving creature presence all season, the finale delivered. Marielle's death struck harder than expected. I previously found her irritating, yet her defense of Fatima and desperate final kiss with Christy, paired with his subsequent devastation and the haunting piano score, created an unforgettable highlight. There's dark irony that she who spoke of souls remaining trapped now joins them. Frankly, I expected answers this episode. The 45 to 50-minute runtime frustrated me, it needed more length and a grander conclusion. I recognize Fatima's transformation concluded a long building arc, but we saw it coming. Season 3 gave us the man in yellow and Jim's death, massive developments in a longer episode. This felt comparatively underwhelming. I also found it narratively convenient that Sophia and Clara wandered separately hauling talisman bags without encountering anyone. Zero obstacles. No resistance. One Sophia moment I did appreciate, her facial expressions while eliminating Elgin. She seemed almost conflicted about taking his life, casually instructing Clara to dispose of the body. This raises questions about whether she'll assume his form as a vessel, given she killed him. Overall, this was a solid finale. It delivered tension, genuine stakes, and treated the town as an almost living organism. It pivoted in fresh directions and established the final season compellingly. Season 5 faces enormous pressure to resolve mysteries, provide clarity, and deliver satisfying conclusions. I'm optimistic, though the show's history of inconsistency tempers my expectations. We'll see. That wraps up the ending explained for From Season 4, Episode 10.